And last year, some thoughts about last year. You know, a lot of people I could tell kind of had a little trepidation. You know, it's like, is this kind of weird, you know, meeting people from the computer, you know, the internet, and it's a little strange, and people, I could tell they were a little standoffish maybe at first, and then by the end of the meet and greet, it's like they had known each other for 20 years. So I also really enjoy seeing people who have interacted with each other for years, but never actually met, and then they've just met today and yesterday, and it's just fun to see that happen. So I really appreciate that. And I also want to thank the staff. I have a wonderful team here in all the departments that, if you could give them a round of applause. Jeremy over there does our decorating, and he's responsible for all of the wonderful decorations. All the food and beverage team that put together this incredible meal for everyone. They really did a great job. And then all the other staff, my team that helped out getting the gift bags together and doing all of that. A lot of work behind the scenes. Really, thank you very much. So, like I said, it's pretty amazing that we have people coming from all over, from east, north, west, you know, all over the place, south. If you didn't yet, there's a map in the back that has some push pins on there. If you hadn't had a chance, you want to put a push pin in there where you're from, because we're going to do little prizes and things like that. So if you didn't get your push pin in, go ahead and get that on there, and then we'll do that kind of near the end.
There's no room for Houston.
Yeah, you just have to get it wider and wider in that circle out there. But, you know, we had some people that had a pretty short drive to get here, you know, relatively. The Houston's about 3 hours, but we had other people that made some really long road trips to come all the way down here. And they posted some pictures online, so I threw those in here. I think everyone enjoys Golden Greek's post on the forum, and we really appreciate that he made it down here. And his whole group, Foamy, Lori, Sharon.
Foamy, is this his money or is somebody else's money?
They won big the first night where they were, and I think they put it back the next. So the agenda, obviously, we're here now. You know, we're having our dinner now. This is the presentation, and then we'll do some door prizes at the end. So if you didn't have your card swiped in, your Advantage Club card, you'll want to get that done, get swiped in, so we have some kind of cool door prizes to give away at the end. Then, of course, the high limit poll, 8 to 8:15, right around there is the high limit poll, and those games are ready and waiting for you guys there. Got Cleopatra 2 and Valhalla, and double black tie, so that should be a good time. Last year, we had the first hand pay at a meet and greet, was right here at Coushatta, so we got to do that again. And then, of course, tomorrow, Thursday, we got Joey's Rise and Shine breakfast. It's $10, $9:30 at the Seven Clans Buffet. If anyone's not inebriated at that time, they can make their way over there. And then we also have the craps lesson, 11 a.m. craps lesson. Anyone wants to learn how to play craps for free using tournament chips. It's a fun game, and this is a way to get to do it with no pressure whatsoever. Then we have the slot tournament, and we're pretty excited about this. Last year, the top award was $500 in free play. And this year, we've doubled that. It's $1,000. So the top award's going to be $1,000 in free play. And second place is $500, third place $250, and then 4th through 30th will be $50. So the way this will work, everyone will get to play one round, one session on the machine, and the top 20 are automatically going to go to the final round of that group. Then the people who are eliminated will play again, and the top 10 from that group will also go to the final round. So we'll have 30 people in the final round. If you make it to the final round, you're getting something. And it's all in free play. If you hit, say, the $1,000 and you live fairly close and don't want to play it all, you know, at one shot, come see me and we'll space it out so you don't have to rush it all if you don't want to. And we're playing it on these great multimedia tournament machines. We put this tournament system in a while back, and it really, I think, is the best tournament system out there. Not only are you pressing the button, but when the balloons come up, you got to hit those balloons and touch them, and they'll explode, and you'll get extra bonus points. So those balloons only come up for about 3 seconds. So you want to make sure to hit those to get those bonus points. Then we have the low rollers slot pull, $10 per person per share, dollar denom machines, and the money is going to be collected and recorded at the slot tournament, 1:30 p.m. Thursday, so right around that time of the slot tournament, and then it'll happen right after the slot tournament. So that's the low rollers pull. Then they have the Thursday Thriller, and everyone I know is excited about this one. There's a couple of pulls. There's a high limit pull and a super high limit pull. The high limit pull, $20 a share, 2-coin pinball machine. And then the super high limit pull, $50 per share on 1-coin, double red, white, and blue, or double gold. That's 8 p.m. So this is kind of a map of the property, and the craps pit is located in the dome area there. That's where the craps lesson will be. And then the tournament area is kind of in the upper part. It's over by the host office. And the high limit area is right there. That's, of course, where the high limit pull will be. A little bit about the tribe. Obviously, the Coushatta tribe of Louisiana is owner and runs the property. And about 1540, the Coushatta tribe began a long series of moves in order to avoid European encroachment. 1797, Chief Red Shoes led a group of 400 followers to Spanish Louisiana. Later, another 450 Coushattas joined them. The moves continued in an effort to remain in neutral territory between French, Spanish, American, and Mexican territories. 1880s, a group of approximately 300 Coushattas settled at Bayou Blue, north of Elton, where they would remain. And that's where the reservation is there in Elton. Traditionally, agriculturalists growing maize and other food crops while supplementing their diet with fish and game. And they're really known for these amazing longleaf pine baskets that they make. And you can see some of these in our gift shops. There's a few nice ones over there at Seven Clans gift shop. They really are beautiful, beautifully made. So 1995, Grand Casino Coushatta opened. They had an agreement with Grand Casinos to manage the property. Opened in 1995, and that's kind of a poor picture. That's all I could find from way back then. So our vision is to create the ultimate Southern gaming experience. That's what we try to get our team members to rally around, and what we're always trying to accomplish. And how do we do that? We do that through our products and our services. So on the product end, we've got the Coushatta Inn. We've got the Grand Hotel, which is closed for remodel. I'll show a few pictures of that. We've got an RV park, too, that rates usually in the top 100 RV parks. That has its own pool area. You get a lot of compliments on the RV park for people who have the RVs. And then, of course, the Seven Clans Hotel. Most of you guys are in the Seven Clans Hotel. That's still fairly new, and the rooms are really nice, and we get a lot of compliments on that. It was really a great addition to the property. We have 401 rooms there. And then the pool was added to that, really a great pool. If you have a chance, you want to check that out. So the Grand Hotel, when it gets done, we're hoping for mid-November opening. We hesitate to put a date out there because, things change with construction projects all the time. But that's what we're shooting for. It will have a nice spa. The spa won't be open right when the hotel opens, but it'll be sometime after that. But we'll have a great spa where you can get manicures and massages and a real nice area for that. And when we get done, the Grand Hotel is going to be our nicest property. It's going to be finished even better than Seven Clans. It's going to be a step up from Seven Clans. Shot of the lobby here from check-in desk, and then shot of one of the rooms. And the rooms in the Grand Hotel, they're a little bit bigger. They have tubs, and each room would have a microwave and a refrigerator and everything, some amenities like that. That's a sitting area in one of the suites. Also under products, we've got a fantastic golf course rated number 4 in Louisiana, and number 1 is in terms of casino golf courses. We've got the Pavilion, which we do our big name entertainment. We've got Jay Leno coming in September. Cyber Quest and Kids Quest, we have things for the kids to do, and that's one thing our competitors don't have, is things for the kids to do. And our pool also is real kid-friendly. We have a splash area and things for the kids. And then we also have Miko, which we're in right now. And when we're not using it for events like this, we have karaoke and all kinds of local bands and things like that. Of course, all the restaurants, fantastic Big Sky Steakhouse, Gumbo's Sports Bar, Terrace Cafe. We have a lot of different dining options for our guests. And then, of course, the gaming, the slot machines. Yeah. And those that know me well will know that I kind of obsess over having the variety of slots to make sure we always have the cool new stuff on the floor, but never forgetting that not everyone likes the cool new stuff. Some people want the older traditional games, so we have a huge selection of those as well. So we really try to cover, thank you, really try to cover all those niches. But what really, when it comes down to it, we have the products, it's the service that really makes the biggest difference. I strongly believe, if there's a couple in Houston and they're having coffee on a Saturday morning and they say, hey, let's go to Louisiana and play some slots tonight. Where do you want to go? I think the biggest differentiator, the biggest reason people choose one or the other is the personalized service. Do I feel important there? Do they care? So we really stress that a lot with our service. And speaking of slot service, we're kind of fanatics about measuring our service, in terms of our slots. We have a dispatch center where we dispatch all the service calls. So there's someone sitting at a screen all day long and they're watching for calls, and as soon as someone hits a button or there's a jackpot, we're immediately dispatching someone to get there because we want to get that guest back in service as soon as we can. Last year we had just tried out some of these little switches where it says lift for service. And we just finished putting those on the rest of the machines. We tested some out to see if it was a measurable difference, because we have a lot of times even housekeepers will turn our change switches on accidentally, or a guest turns it on accidentally. And those accidental calls stop our slot people from getting to the people who really need something, like a jackpot or something like that. So we tested these out, and they worked. So we put them on all the slots, just about all the slots. Some of them don't really need it because of the way that change button is put on there. But we've reduced our change lights by 40%, and that's all the actual ones. So that lets us increase service by a few seconds to the rest of the people who have a service problem. So we have a slot dispatch, a room where we dispatch all these people from. There's what it looks like. Actually, no. That's not it. It's actually more like this. But that does look pretty impressive, though, doesn't it? So we dispatch on all these calls to try to get people served, as quick as we possibly can. So we have hand pays this year. We've got some stats like we did last year from the 1st to January 1st to August 1st. 35,491 hand pays. Average service time of 1.04 seconds. That's the time it goes off to the time we're at the machine. Average completion time of 9 minutes and 5 seconds. That's when we get the paperwork done, we get the cash back, and get people paid. So I'm hoping you guys can test us out on these hand pay times and see if we're making it. So total tilts 114,683. Average service time of 1 minute and 2 seconds. And then the change lights 117,520. This is 40% less than we used to have. Average service time of 1 minute and 4 seconds. So if you need something, if you need service out there, you turn on that change light, and we're usually right there. And if you can tell me later, after the meet and greet, if we met your expectations, you'll probably be getting a survey, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So total events, 267,694 with an average time of 1 minute and 3 seconds. And here's the times. 64% of the time we're there in less than a minute. 99.07% of the time we're there in less than 5 minutes. This is just getting from the call to there. And less than 1% take more than 5 minutes to get to. So these are the things that we are constantly measuring and monitoring and making sure we have the right staff in the right place to get everyone's service quickly. So the hand pays. Total number of jackpots, 1,200 or over. 31,311, an average of 146 per day. Total hand pay jackpots, dollar amount, $82,076,932.28, an average of $381,753 per day. So we're a big casino. We have a lot of volume. We do a lot of hand pays. I know a lot of you guys are watching them online on our website because we link that up. So this is a survey we send out. We contracted with a company that does surveys, not just for us, but for casinos nationwide. And there are a number of reasons to do that. One, it's a great tool to measure our guest service. But the cool thing about it is we also get to benchmark ourselves against other casinos across the country on the same items that we're scoring our people on. So we get to see that. And you'll probably, a number of you guys will probably be randomly selected to get these, to take these surveys after you leave. But these are one of the benchmark reports. You know, we already knew we were super fast in terms of getting jackpots paid and taking care of the guests timely. So we said, hey, let's measure friendliness, because that's a little harder to get from a report, you know. So this chart shows the blue bar is Coushatta. The bottom line is the industry average. The top line is what they consider their world-class average. So we were thrilled that our slot attendants rate just a little above the world-class average for slot service. So we're really proud of that. And I hope you guys experience that while you're here, and if not, let me know. The other one is, like I said before, I'm kind of one of these people who I'm always obsessing about the slot floor. And do we have the right mix of games on the floor? And is it what people want to play? And all of that. So the guests actually answer this question. You know, usually we hear from a guest when we take out their game, their favorite game. And, you know, even if it's one person, it's that one person, you know, when we bring in a game and it's really popular, you know, it's human nature. They don't stop to say, oh, hey, thanks for putting in, you know, Leonidas or whatever. We enjoyed it. You know, most people just play it and then they have a good time. They, you know, that's just kind of human nature. But again, the bottom is the industry standard. This is on slot variety score. The top line is the world-class average, and then Coushatta is the blue bar. So way above. And I hope you guys feel that when you walk the floor and think, hey, do they have my favorite games? I hope that answer is yes, because I lose sleep over that, not having people's favorite games on the floor. So we have a ton of new games. I'd go through them all, but it would take us forever. So we have a lot of new product. So what I recommend is the Coushatta app. If you have a smartphone, if you have an Android or an Apple, you can download the Coushatta app for free. And it has a slot finder on there. It also has a list of all the new games from each manufacturer. That gets updated on a weekly basis. I look at some of my competitors' websites and I look at their slot page, and it looks like it was created 10 years ago and never updated, you know, since then. So we kind of make sure that's updated. And if you don't have one of those, we actually have on the floor 9 of these on the casino floor. And that's an iPad. And it has our app, and you can use it for a slot search. You can find out who's playing in Miko. You can find out the hours of the restaurants. Really, anything you want, that information is right at your fingertips. And now we have about 8 of those on the casino floor, and they'll be coming to the hotel lobbies shortly. This is how it, on our website, we do the same thing. And this is the list of new games. So you can click on any one of those manufacturers and see the new games that are added. And again, this gets updated weekly, so it's pretty up to date. This just shows the slot search we have. I believe we're the only casino app out there to have a slot search built into our app. And that's something that we're pretty proud of. It's not perfect. It gets you to the bank level. It won't take you to the individual game on the bank, but it gets you pretty close to that area, and it works pretty well. And that's kind of what it looks like on the map. And then this one, I know people have been watching this one. We linked up our system that tracks, the same system that our slot dispatchers are watching for these calls. We hooked up just for jackpots to our website, so it automatically updates and everyone can see every large jackpot on there.
That's awesome.
It's kind of cool. I don't know of any other casino anywhere that's doing this. If you know of one, let me know who it is. And we put a little delay on it. We didn't want people to, you know, use it as they're walking around to see where the jackpots are hitting right then and there, because, you know, sometimes people say, oh, jackpot, and they'll go hang around that person and, you know, that kind of thing. So we put a little delay on purpose on that. So a little bit about how slots work. I just love these old antique machines. You know, in the old days, they were all gears and belts and chains and, you know, weights and springs and all that stuff to make them work. Didn't require any electricity. But, you know, the modern slot machines have the random number generator on there. They're all computer controlled, and they're all computer controlled. And a lot of people kind of put personalities into machines. This machine likes me. This machine doesn't like me. But, you know, the cold reality is it's just a computer, cold inhuman computer picking numbers. You know, it just keeps picking numbers. That's all it does. Some people don't believe in the random number generator. I know a lot of the forum members don't believe in the random number generator. I think I got a picture of one that doesn't believe in it right here. A lot of people think casino management, we sit up in a room and look down on everyone and decide, who's winning and who's losing and that kind of thing. An evil empire. Not really the case. Just a cold, inhuman computer picking numbers. So that's what it does. It generates random numbers. Each spin is random and independent from the last. The computer doesn't care what number was picked before. It just keeps picking those numbers. And some numbers are winners. Some numbers are losers. Over the long run, like you guys know, over the long run, there'll be more winning numbers for the casino than there will be for the player. But anything can happen over the short run. You could beat that house edge over the short run. So I wanted to make a little thing to kind of illustrate the random number generator. I decided to use dice, because I think you could argue that dice is possibly the world's first random number generator. So I made a simple slot machine using 3 dice, simple 6-sided die. So I'm going to roll these dice, and there's a 1 would equal a blank, a 2 would be a bar, a 3 would be a blank, a 4 is a blank, a 5 is a double bar, and a 6 is a blank. So if we roll the dice, I get a 6, a 2, and a 5. I got a blank, a single bar, and a double bar, not a winning combination. But if we roll them again, let's say I get a 2, and another 2, and another 2, got single bars all the way across, that would be a winning combination. So that, obviously there aren't any dice in the slot machine, but that's kind of how the random number generator is working in there. But I said I wanted to take that, the math on a slot machine is far larger than 6 times 6 times 6. So I said I'm going to use a bingo blower. I think most people have seen a bingo blower or watched the lottery. And I'm going to use that to take my visualization up a notch. Most bingo blowers, most bingo games are 75 balls in them. So now we're actually approaching the math of a slot that's starting to become realistic on a slot that might be on the floor, like an old 3-reel game, 75 times 75 times 75. It's actually usually 64 and 72, those numbers, but this is pretty close. But it can be a lot higher than that. So I decided I'm going to put 128 bingo balls in each one of my bingo blowers. I'm going to ask for 1 ball to come out of each one. So I got a 77, 103, and 120. And then we have a lookup table. This is going to tell me what those numbers are worth. So 77 is between 74 and 78. That gives me a cherry. The double bar, that's 103 is between 95 and 107. I got the double bar. And 120 is between 119 and 126. That's the red 7. So this wouldn't be a winning combination. Maybe you'd get a few coins for the cherry. Some games play that way. So the total possible combinations for this machine would be 128 times 128 times 128. And there are machines out there with cycles that high and even higher. Now, this is just a 3-reel machine. If you noticed on my lookup table, there's only 2 balls in each one of those bingo blowers that are worth the top jackpot. So you'd have to pick one of 2 balls out of 3 separate bingo blowers. You do that 3 times in a row. 128 times 128 times 128 gives us 2,097,152 possible combinations. We divide by 2 balls in each bingo blower. So 1,048,576 to 1. That would be the odds on hitting the top award on that machine. And there are games out there that have 1,000,000 to 1 top awards, some much lower, some much higher. They're really all over the map. So whole percentage is the percentage of money held or won by the casino as compared to how much was played. And the opposite is the payout percentage. Each casino chooses a whole percentage that the machine will keep over the long term. That's the key, is long term. It's human nature to learn from actual experiences. That's just how evolution programmed us, is to learn through our experiences. You tell the kid, don't touch the hot stove, what does he want to do? He wants, that's just how we learn. So people will try to apply their experience to random events such as slot machine wins and losses, but the whole percentage of the machine is achieved over millions of handle pulls. Most machines are designed with cycles so big that players won't have the time or the bankroll to pull the handle enough times to positively know the difference. Any player can win big on the tightest machine in the house and lose big on the loosest on any given session of play. It's about being at the right place at the right time. But with human nature the way it is, players who win on a machine or get good play will say it's loose, otherwise they'll say it's tight. That's just, I've been doing this for 22 years, and I've been talking to guests for 22 years, and it's just kind of human nature. So I have some payout percentages, sources. I have a chart that kind of shows where we stand compared to our competitors. And you can, this is public info. That's kind of one of the neat things. I get to see the Lake Charles hold percentage numbers. They don't get to see ours. So I have a little advantage over them. I look at Vegas too. So this is payout percentages. And first, the red is the Lake Charles area. The yellow is the Las Vegas Strip. And green is Coushatta Casino. You know, most of our guests, if you look at our map, it'll become apparent that most of our people are coming from Houston, Texas. The majority of our players. We have to offer this value proposition. So we do set our slots to pay out more. Will you feel that on any given trip? No, not necessarily. It's really the luck of the draw. But over the long term, if you're going to play, you might as well play at a place that's going to hold less of your money. So we're very competitive. You know, the most of the money on slots is made on pennies, quarters, and dollars. Those are the big three. We have high limit slot machines, but there's a very small group that plays those. Really, the majority comes from these three. The third is the overall. And we're right there with the Vegas Strip on the overall. The problem with the Vegas numbers is that they have a category called multi-denomination where they pile anything that's a multi-denomination in. So it could be anything from a 1 cent, 2 cent to a $50, $100 machine. So they pile all those into one category. So it's really muddies the water. But the overall is still going to be the overall. So our value proposition, overall we have a higher payout than our competitors, but you know, you may or may not experience that even over time. I meet people that say, I used to win a lot and you know, you've tightened up the machines, and I'll actually look up their play on most cases, and in some cases they're right. They haven't been winning. They might have a theoretical win of $500, but they've been losing $1,000. That's kind of the luck of the draw. You know, we don't decide who's going to beat the odds and who isn't. It's just kind of one of those things. But on top of our lower hold, we do give out more comps and cash back than our competitors, because we know a lot of people have that choice to stop. If you're driving from Houston all the way out here, it's real easy to stop in Lake Charles. So we think we have to offer a little more to get people past Lake Charles. Oh, I went too early. If you're wondering in the gift basket, I screwed that up. If you're wondering in the gift basket what that crown-looking thing is, Fred sent me this picture. He said, "What the heck is this thing?" In my gift, you know, it was a gift of the month. Well, it's actually a Mardi Gras themed wine bottle holder, if you had any idea. But Fred had no idea. He thought it was a crown, and he sent me this picture. And I'm just glad I was able to work it into my presentation somehow, because you got these in your gift baskets. So thank you guys. I want to say good luck. I'm hoping to see some big hand pays out there. And now we're going to do some door prizes. So yeah, we're in good time here. We want to get you out at 8. We got that high limit pull. So give us just a minute to get the door prizes all together.